slapping their boyfriends, you're out.
Please get up for Rishi gently. He's a very big deal.
Everybody's here to see me, right?
See, he comes with an accent also.
Two for the price of one.
Yes. And of course, come on, yeah, don't leave out our moderator, Manu Joseph, ladies and gentlemen.
Through Twitter, you know who is the person making sure you go there. It should be a little more louder. Come on, people, give it up.
And of course, moderating this panel, our next session. So for all those that don't know what the session is, can you tell them what session? Yeah.
Are you sure? Is that the YOLO
YOLO.
thing? The YOLO thing?
Yeah.
Well, this is the Young Adult Special YOLO. This session is called YOLO. Alright.
So how we learn to live our lives in less than 140 characters. Phone numbers baad mein because we have a special Authors Lounge where we have a signing booth right next to the entrance of the Yes Bank Hall. You will get to meet them later on.
Thank you so much. Good evening and thanks for being here. Can you hear me? Is that fine? So I don't think anybody understands what the topic is all about, so we're going to jump in. Right. Because we want our guests to be very comfortable. How do you use your Twitter?
Or a public person is misunderstood very often. So Twitter is a great way, or Instagram, or any of these social media interactions is a great way to actually get on and clear or make a very clear stance of what you stand for and what you believe in.
What kind of a person are you?
I think one thing that comes to my mind is I'm very patriotic. I know very few people might be patriotic. So I had a lot of friends who went to college and who studied. I went as well, but I came back, and a lot of them would be like, I want to stay in New York, I want to stay in London. I was like, no, yeah, we have to come back and do something for our country. Bring all that knowledge back, or whatever exposure we've got, come back and do it in our country. So I'm very patriotic in that sense, that I want India to go ahead, I want India to rise. So in a way, when I was actually studying in Nottingham when Facebook hit, when Facebook, like epidemic, if I call it anything, when it hit and it just spread and it just blew up and everyone was on Facebook. And it hadn't started in India as yet. And I actually got teased about that. When I was in England, I actually got teased about that. And, oh, it's not in your country as yet, it's in America, it's in England. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And now when I hear that the power of Twitter and Facebook, basically the power of social media in our country, how powerful India is as a social media country, it's amazing. I think social media changed the government in our country.
Do you like the Twitter projection of Varun? Generally excellent. Rishi, if this question doesn't annoy you, what do you do?
Well, first of all, it is so moving to see all my fans. No, and seriously, we didn't stage that response. What Varun said just before I begin is spot on. With Twitter specifically, Twitter was the first social media platform built on mobile. The first set of tweets years ago were sent on SMS. Twitter was invented on SMS. My first 10 tweets 5 years ago, were on SMS. And what are mobile phones for? They're politicians, journalists, actors, films that come out. My job at Twitter is to ensure every Indian gets daily delight and value from the platform. We think that
the last couple of years has been safety of women. Right, like it's a very current topic. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. The Uber incident that just come to light in Delhi is shameful for the country. That yet again something like that has happened, and it's honestly very irritating that when you go to keep hearing about this and you're like, why aren't we doing something about this? When will India do something about this? And there's been enough noise on social media. There's definitely been enough noise on social media for people to understand the intensity of what's been happening. So I think for one way is, I can go on tweeting and saying this is happening, but I don't think that still people are getting it in their head. I think another thing maybe what I don't mean me only, but I mean we as a society might need to do is take this probably one step ahead, and there has to be a revolution to solve this problem, I think. These things, these rapes and this injustice on on trying to show that women are the weaker sex or picking on people who are weaker than you, that needs to start, because India is an evolved society today. We are moving towards becoming a superpower. I mean, probably, there are a lot of people who are here who don't know it. But when you go to any country abroad, they know it, they feel it, they feel our power. Our country is being represented in a damn good way. So we as a society now need to pick up the ball and make sure that all this other stuff stops. So maybe if it means putting pressure through social media, so that's going to be my involvement now. Majorly through social media, it's about safety for women and trying to stop this now.
One of the things, Varun, that makes me think of is years ago, I was listening to the founder of Twitter talk about the Arab Spring. And they talk often about what was the role of Twitter, let's say, in the Arab Spring. And what the people on the ground in Egypt say, of course it may have been using Twitter domestically to organize, but it was more that the rest of the world was retweeting, "We hear you." And so that simple, the power of these meetings, because they are global.
Rishi, everybody tweeted, everybody heard.
He said, what do you do? He runs the Twitter account Blood Donors IN. You may follow it. Every day, every hour he tweets, "Urgent, baby needs AB positive blood in Kanpur. Please call this number, retweet, retweet, retweet." And he has no trust register, no website, but in 10 minutes they find blood. He says, "I don't want any recognition. Don't tell anyone who I am." And these are uses of the platform that maybe are less dramatic, right? There are these dramatic uses we read about that are always trending, and then there are these day-to-day uses. And so I think I'm just so bullish on the way Varun opened to talk about personality. And personality doesn't always mean like I'm cool. Personality means here's my cause, here's who I am authentically, holistically. And the brands, the NGOs that do that, do well. And that's my challenge to India, is to embrace these tools of personality. Be courageous about being yourself. And I'm delighted that it's beginning now.
You can't, and to some extent it is an extension of PR. It definitely is, and that is the harsh truth. Like I said, my whole idea about being an actor is to be someone who represents the people and does stuff to entertain people. So I'm going to be very, very honest with you all, that you all notice this trend. I'll ask you all the question, that when an actor or actress or singer or anyone has a movie coming out, suddenly he starts tweeting way more. He suddenly starts interacting way more with his fans. Or it's not like, "Acha, meri picture nahi nikalne wali, so I'm going to really tweet now, I'm going to really get in touch." So at the end of the day, but what you have to realize is that pressure is coming through external forces. As in, there's a producer involved, there's a studio involved who's like, please tweet this. So that tweet is not necessarily the actor's tweet. It's a tweet that like a studio or a producer is telling this actor that please give this out, because frankly social media is like, my film is coming up, Badlapur. Now this is not a PR exercise, I'm just using this as an example. My film is coming out, Badlapur. They ran a viral campaign for it, where we released 5 posters before the teaser, and everything was done virally and digitally. So that means now digitally, when you have to put something on, it costs less than putting it on TV and buying spots, right? So everything is viral and digital, and it's only trying to target that kind of audience, and yet you're creating buzz. And it's surprising because my mom went to buy a shoe in Linking Road recently, and she went to a shop, and the guy showing her the shoe told her, "Arey, unka promo dekha, bahut acha laga." And my mom was shocked at how did he see it, because it's only on the net. It's nowhere. She was wondering how this guy, is he on Twitter? That's what she asked him, क्या आप Twitter use करते हो या क्या आप YouTube देखते हो? He's like, हाँ दिखता है ना. So I don't think we totally know the power of social media in the country as yet. I mean, there's no number that we can kind of gauge it with as yet.
That's an excellent point. I have one more question to that. You accept that it is an extension of the PR exercise. At the same time, you are a person with a lot of integrity. I can see from the way you speak. Would you ever?
Depends what it's about. Like if it's something about national security or something, and like the Prime Minister called me and told me, "Varun, you need to say this." No, I mean,
we'll keep it simple. What would you lie about
What would I lie about? Let's just say I wouldn't lie. I'd try to like have guts and say the truth. I would try not to lie.
I was talking to a celebrity a few hours ago, and he told me, when he's a Twitter user, and he was talking about Twitter, and he said, if we knew we are so hated, we wouldn't get off the bed. You know, the world hates us, and that's what we get on Twitter. So I told him, because I was having an argument, that
No, but honestly, very often I feel I'm hated. Very, very often. For example, when Student of the Year, we were promoting Student of the Year, I thought I was the most hated out of all three of us. I'm just saying at that point, you know, it's very easy because like there's a whole thing on social media which is fair enough. I don't blame anyone for thinking like that, where they're like, oh, you're a director's son, so probably that's the reason over here. Now tomorrow's probably, if I was born in a family where I was not a director's son and I was becoming an actor, because I'm an actor, I'm supposed to think like everyone. I mean, it's my job to put myself in other people's shoes and think, oh, why is this person thinking that way? Definitely, I would think like that. अरे इसको इसलिए chance मिल रहा है क्योंकि ये director का बेटा है. 100%. So the way they are thinking is correct in their mind. But now I knew that becoming an actor, I had to beat that perception. I had to overcome that perception. And lots of people who are probably born in fortunate households or born with a silver spoon, or however people want to put it, do go through that. I'm sure Sachin Tendulkar's son is going to go through that. When he gets selected for a cricket match or something, it's sad, but he will go through that. That's life. So I would get a lot of that, like hate mail and stuff like that, and I would think that I am quite hated at times.
what's the one thing that you learned about yourself which came from the social media? An insight into your personality which turned out to be right, which your close circle of friends wouldn't have told you?
That people actually do like my energy. Because before I became an actor, there were a lot of people who told me, Varun, just, you know, you have so much energy and excitement, and I know you want to entertain people, but be calm, I don't think, people will think you're crack. Why are you running around so much? You're like an energizer bunny, you're jumping from here to there, you're doing this, you're doing that. And honestly, when I became an actor, I felt that was lacking in the Hindi film industry. I felt that actors were, somewhere down the line, I felt that you have to give it your everything, because people are paying their money and they're going in to watch your movie. If you're not entertaining them every damn minute for why they're here, then you don't need to be here. And to some extent, probably the pressure of, you know, that whole thing of coming from a film family had gotten to me, so I had to overperform. So maybe I did overdo it at that point. But there were people somewhere, you know, through social media who told me that, oh, we can see your passion for films, or we can see your passion for cinema, and we can see your passion for acting, and we like you for that. So I think after that I decided I'm never going to hide my passion. I'm not going to hide my passion for films. I'm here for films and I'll die for films.
Absolute pleasure, Claude. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure and such joy to meet up again with my Laundry's family, as I say. Truly, 15 years